All right, everybody, here is the answer key, or the video describing the answers to the Schoology quiz, review quiz for 2 section 3. Here we go. I'm going to go right through it. I'm not taking it in Schoology. I have a PDF printed out, so hopefully you can follow along. The first one, relationship is proportional, can be written in this form. Yes, that's been true forever, so yes, true. Proportional relationship always contains the ordered pair 0, 0. If I put a 0 in the y and a 0 in the x, it doesn't even matter what m is. We're still going to get 0 equals 0, so this is true. 0, 0 is always part of a proportional relationship. Moving on down to number 3. It costs $5.09 for 3.2 pounds of apples. What is the constant of proportionality? I should probably have a calculator for this. So let's grab a calculator. And sorry, I should have had this ready. So let's do a little division. What I observe in the answers is it's always dollars by pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and divide dollars by pounds. That's really the only way to do this problem. If you do pounds first and then dollars, you're going to get it wrong. So I'm going to do dollars first, 5.09, and then I'm going to divide by pounds, 3.2, oops, 0.2, and there's my answer, 1.59, so 1.59, done. All right, number 4, question number 4. In 6 hours, the depth of water in Mr. Rivero's swimming pool increased 24 total inches. So watch this. In 6 hours, it went up 24 inches. So 24 inches divided by 6 hours is 4 inches per hour. All right, so that's the slope or the rate of change of Mr. Rivero's pool. I'll do a different one here. The water in Mr. Lloyd's pool had an initial depth of 27 inches. Okay, so it started out with a certain height. After 1 hour, the depth increased to 32. So 27 to 32, so 32 minus 27 is, so 5 inches per hour, right? So that's my increase after 1 hour. And then it says after 2 hours, the depth was 37 inches. So from 32 to 37 inches is another plus 5, so it stays consistent. So I have 5 inches per hour, and Senor Rivero has 4 inches per hour. So let's see what we want to choose. Mr. Lloyd's pool filled at a higher rate of change. Yeah, it did. So 5 compared to 4. Mr. Lloyd's pool filled at the same rate. No. Mr. Rivero's pool filled at a higher rate. No. And Mr. Lloyd's pool did not increase at a steady rate. No, that's false. So there we go. All right, next question. Mr. Lloyd wants to eat Cheez-Its, boxes of Cheez-Its. Yummy. He's 5'11" and currently weighs 170. I'm just giving you a bunch of random information to see if I can trick you. And lives at 125 Main Street. None of that has anything to do with anything. He wants to eat 25 boxes and is giving himself 6 weeks to accomplish that goal. This is ridiculous. Look at each of the examples. Boxes per week, boxes per week. That's the only ones we have listed. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and divide boxes by weeks. And in the original problem, it talks about 25 boxes and 6 weeks. So I'm going to do 25 boxes. But what is this calculator? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Huh. What are those letters? Undo. Cancel. There we go. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. All right, there we go. 25 divided by 6. Sorry for the confusion. There's 4 and 1/6. So we'll just leave it as 4 and 1/6 boxes per week. All right, that's what I'm supposed to eat if I want to accomplish my goal. Choose the most accurate statement. So Mr. Lloyd, let's get rid of this again. Mr. Lloyd will have to have a rate of change of 25. No, that's not right. Mr. Lloyd will have a positive rate of change. Sure. The more weeks, the more boxes. Yes, the rate of change is about 4.2 boxes a week. And 4 and 1/6 is the same as about 4.2, so correct. All right, and this one, notice how this one's way too small, so that's incorrect. And this is just silly, so don't pick that one. All right, next up. Our relationship is described by this, and the questions essentially say it is or is not a proportional relationship. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do my tester. My tester is put 0 in both x and y, And let's find out if it's proportional. So 2 times 0 equals 7 times 0 plus 12. So 2 times 0 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0 plus 12. So I end up with 0 equals 12. And this is false. So this means it is not proportional. So let's go ahead and see. Let's see. It is not, so choice A, it is not proportional because the ordered pair is not a solution. Done. I didn't have to go very far on that one. None of this other stuff has anything to do with anything. It's not proportional, and if it's not proportional, we're not going to worry about the rate of change because we already have our correct choice. Let's see. Draw a straight line on the graph. Your line should represent a proportional relationship. If you don't read the whole question, you're going to get this one wrong. A proportional relationship is a line that goes through the origin. So you got to have something that goes through the origin. I'm just drawing two diagonals as examples. They both go through the origin, so they are both examples of proportional. This is probably going to be draw a line straight but not proportional, so I'm just going to do a straight line that does not go through the origin. And again, it could go in a different direction. It doesn't really matter. As long as it misses the origin, we're okay, right? It's not proportional. All right, next up, the price for 2.5 pounds of sweet potatoes at the grocery store is $2.23. This is a proportional relationship. That's because if you buy 0 pounds, you spend $0. Using the information above, what's the cost of 1 pound of sweet potatoes? So we want to know the cost of a pound. So we want to know money divided by pounds. Right? Notice how that works. This is first and this is second. So that's how we know which thing to type in first and which thing to type in second. So the money is $2.23. So $2.23 divided by 2.5. So 2.23 divided by 225, or 2.5, I'm sorry, is 0.82. Okay, so that's $0.89 per pound. All right, so 89 cents a pound, that's what this is. So 1 pound is 89 cents. So you could type in 0.89 because it says $0.89. If you put a 0 in front of there, that's okay too. How much for 5.8 pounds? So I'm just going to go ahead and take my 5.8 and I'm going to multiply that by 0.89. So 5.8 times 0.89. And I get 5.162. So 5.16. because the 2 is not big enough to round it up, and that's that. All right, we're almost done. Ariana charges the neighbor to babysit their child based upon the chart. You can see that 1 hour is $8.25. I'm curious, if I take 225 divided by 3, I hope I get the 825, so I'm going to check it. Divided by 3, and, oh, I get 7.5. All right, so what that tells me is the 8.25, I wonder if this is a mistake in the quiz. 8.25 divided by 1 equaled 8.25, and 22.5 divided by 3 is a different thing. So this is not proportional. These aren't the same, so this is not proportional. Is this an example of a proportional relationship? We should be typing in no. I sure hope that's what the quiz says, because I have a feeling I would have designed that question differently. That's kind of funny. All right, next question. Which of these equations shows a proportional relationship? All right, proportional. I'm going to put zeros in for for x and y in each one of these, and I'm going to look for one that works. So I'm just, right below it, I'm just putting in zeros. 0 minus 0 plus 1 equals 1. I get 1 equals 1. I have to admit, right away, I think this is probably my winner. This one is going to be 0 equals 5. That's false, so it's not that one. And on the other side, I'm going to end up with 0 equals plus 1. I'm going to end up with 0 equals 1. That's false. And I'm going to end up with 0 equals 4,000. That's also false. So my first choice was my winner, choice A. Mrs. Daly is about to run at a speed of 3.5 miles an hour. She's currently run no miles. Which statement best describes Mrs. Daly's situation? Well, she hasn't run any miles, so it's proportional. So I see this thing non-proportional. I'm not even going to consider that. Non-proportional, once again, not going to consider it. I like eggs. Sure I do, but I'm not sure that applies. There's no way to determine this answer. That's silly. So we have two choices. Mrs. Daly's situation is proportional because, let's look at the because statement. She will be running, I'm looking at the one on the left. She will be running miles at a constant rate. Yes. And she started with 1 mile. That's incorrect. She didn't start with any miles, so that one's out. And started with 0, so winner, right? So that one should be choice D. And 2 more to go. One of the following equations is proportional. Input 0, 0 into the equation. We've seen this a number of times. I was just worried that I guess you wouldn't be able to do it. So I'm going to just put some more zeros in. 0 plus 0 equals 10. At this point, you probably know this is going to be false. 0 equals 4 times 0. Hey, that's true. All right, so 0 equals 4y is the one that's proportional. That means these would not be, because you can't have more than one answer. And finally, a graphed equation that is a straight line is proportional if, well, it's straight, so we like that, but it has to go through the origin. The line goes through the origin, so there's your winner. All right, so kind of a long answer key video, but if you needed the explanation, there it is. Good luck on the quiz on Thursday. I'll be back on Wednesday to actually teach you some lessons that don't require you watching videos. We'll see you soon.